9 points. Saf, who has been consistent all day, right behind with 8. And then Kaizui, man.
Kaizui was monstrous at the very end there, taking out the likes of, what was it, Tfue, J-Truth? Some of the craziest, snappiest flicks we've ever seen.
That 180 pump shot, it almost, like, I almost didn't see him turn around. It was so fast, and then boom.
I want to know what sensitivity that guy plays with when this is all over.
Sensitivity, DPI, all that, please. If you could just send it over to me, because I need to be doing stuff like that. Rounding out that back half, remember, top 20 is who is in the money, and we got some names on this list, Monster.
I mean, it was a big game for Tfue. You saw him at the end game there. That's going to network from the point. That's why he's still in the same spot. So 13th is really good. He's just got to hold consistent. J-Truth we saw at the end there. That placement point's going to bump him up 5. And Base Soldier, as a really good game.
Yeah, the 3 elims and then the placement points, putting him right in there. Looking at the line, just on the outside looking in, Vinny, Ronaldo, CBK Flame, Blue T, Kuros, Tokata, Nagaops, Ronin, all right on the barrier. And it's anybody's game to get in the money at least. You see 2 points is the barrier, 2 points and a couple of tiebreakers.
Yeah, the barrier is right there. Everyone's knocking on the door. And just, you know, I'm ready to get into game 5 to see who can keep up and hold up their point leads. Because it's a race to the end right now as far as the top.
I mean, yesterday we were blessed with a close one. 4 teams who are at 10 points going into the last game. Now you got 4 players who are all right within 1 point of each other at the top.
Love you, buddy.
Craziness.
So I think we get 2 days of back-to-back action where it's a race to the end. Do you think it has anything to do with the recent patch where the game just feels like it's in a much better state?
It feels like the players think they have more agency in their hands and they're able to make the plays they want to be making rather than being forced to react what other people are doing. And it allows them to play on their rotations a lot more and just get in the game. But as we see, we're getting into the game. Bus is going from that southwest corner up towards almost due north. Monster.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one for the players. I don't know, it's a little favorable, I guess, to the west-hand side here. So everyone, you know, playing that eastern zone is going to have a long rotation, and Polar Peak seems to be pretty hot here. Hopping in with our recent winner there, it's Vivid, who's been playing Junk Junction, and if I'm not mistaken, it's Marksman who's been contesting him over and over.
Yeah, so people have been saying
they're gonna be going back for it. Yeah,
that
look,
Liquid Hunter right now, he has been putting them down recently. Last game picking up 2 of them. Will he do it again? We're going to see the contest right away. This initial drops are key. Who can get the good either close range weapon and close the distance, like Marksman right there. But it's the Grey Tack is actually very strong in the early game if he puts it down. Marksman wants to find a secondary weapon to be able to help him. The infantry rifle not going to be great. Already 2 clingers coming in towards him. That was close.
So close there. Vivid does have a tactical. He clearly has another 2 clingers at least. And the hunting rifle shots are coming down. Or sorry, the infantry rifle, the newest addition to the Fortnite world here. What do you think? Who do you have your money on here? Let's make it early bet.
You know what? I think Vivid is going to get his revenge. After that last match, he has to be on Cloud 9, has to be feeling himself. He played incredibly well. It was smart. It was a good disengage. And already here, he doesn't want to jump up there and grab that weapon because he knows he's going to expose himself. And it's really hard to build on that.
Hand cannon's in his loadout. Marksman has the infantry rifle, so he's at the dominant long range. I mean, arguably even better at close range as well, but Vivid's got to close the gap between he and the opponents here on Marksman.
Yeah,
he didn't even pick up the infantry rifle there.
No, leaving it
on the ground.
On the ground, but I can't blame him because the early game with the hand cannon, you connect the headshot, he's gone. Full stop, that's it, you don't come back. He has no shields right now, Marksman. Unfortunate to find it. That's why he's just holding up on that high ground. Vivid's looking for a shot. He wants to sneak one.
He wants that big pot right there, and he is going to snag it. I don't think Marksman has a clear idea of where he is. Now he does. Oh, there's minis off to the side as well. Oh boy, the tables are turning here as the health pool is going to go to Vivid's favor if he can catch an opportunity.
But Marksman is throwing dynamite down towards him, not going to let him set for that. He has to recognize he has those shields on the ground. I'm not sure if he saw it, but now this is a huge disadvantage for Marksman. Down 100 effective HP, so despite having the high ground, but the dynamite going to pop him and expose Vivid. He now knows exactly what hits him with 1 boogie bump. Does he follow up with a second?
Oh boy, with Boogie!
He got it! He got the second one! He's going to look to line up that one shot. 144. Vivid immediately defends himself. Now it's an even fight. Both are in one-hit territory. Vivid connects with that hand cannon, pops the mini. White Tack pops on out. The edit's coming across, and Vivid cleans it up. Feeling himself monster.
What a counter edit right there by Vivid, who's on defense. He lost all shield to a healthy pump shot. Now Vivid's getting pressured by whoever was over at the other area there. But talk about a champion's defense there. Vivid, our first place leader.
Really well played by him. Double boogie bombs are deadly when they're able to connect. You are just sitting there dancing. You're not able to act. He lined up the clean shot. Vivid adapting fine. Now hopping on over to Aiden and Slobbings. The controller lords trying to get on each other. Aiden now getting stinked out a little bit, ticking for that damage from Deuces. Deuces knows that he's over there. Not quite on full shields. Another stink going off. Slobbings just working around it, maintaining the high ground in gray building. Building up now on top of Deuces.
I like this position here from Slobbings. He does want to dominate with only 9 builds. It's time to put that offensive pressure on. Deuce is holding the angle here to get the trade out.
Yeah, now editing himself downward. Slobbings with that blue suppressed SMG has a surprising amount of building pressure. Now Deuce is disengaging back over to the secondary building. Aiden just ratting around the bottom, trying to catch a piece of this fight, sees them rotating away. He wants to try and capitalize when these two engage on each other. Slobbing is low on builds. He's going to have to expose himself or push into Deuces. No choice now.
Oh, good wall there. Slobbings own this one. He can make the offensive edit if he wanted. No, he's choosing to disengage. It's just a 3-way cat and mouse game here. Whoever gets caught out on position is going to get punished pretty hard here. Now it's Aiden who's one step closer in high ground.
Yeah, notice how they're all crouching around. Don't want to give too much audible information away, but they're also holding the right-hand advantages. That means you don't have to expose as much of your body, and there's the shot. First one goes down, and Aiden, right-hand advantage. We talked about it with the patient Slobbing there. Lines it up, swaps over to that blue suppressed SMG. You don't get a much better close-range loadout than that.
No, and we just talked about how being in the wrong position, the first person to get punished. Unfortunate to see Aiden getting owned and tilted today. And now hopping over to the shafts where Nick Merckx was earlier on. No longer seems to be landing here and or has been taken out. It's Tokata and Sheep.
Tokata now actually getting shot in the back from Rut, who we saw earlier. Very impressive rifling skills. Wants to be able to put up some walls. Sheep sitting on the low ground, trying to be patient, knowing other people are there. And Tokata's like, I got the glider redeploy. There's other people around. I'm going to try and create some distance, but Sheep's having none of it.
Yeah, actually, that one elimination Tokata has is on Nick Merckx. Nick Merckx has been playing shifty lately. He's been training this area. He had a good early game earlier today, but it seems like Tokata's been really pushing him back this time around.
Yeah,
Sheep
it's
is
tough.
on the offense right now as well. He's kind of on the hunt here.
Trying to find
map.
him, but it's not. Tokata's being very careful, staying on the low ground. Sheep has 3 boogie bombs, Monster. If he's able to land one, you can chain him, as we saw earlier, but he doesn't have a weapon that's necessarily going to provide him a lot of one-shot pressure. Only relying right now on that gray tack, because Tokata is babysitting the pumps on the low ground.
If we're being honest, if he lands this boogie, he's going to pretty much have to get really close. I'm talking smell your breath close with this tactical, because if he pelts him, he's going to cancel the boogie effect.
Yeah, and he saw that green pump on the ground, and he's opting not to drop, so either he wants the positional advantage, or he's comfortable with the tack right now.
I mean, if you get chest-to-chest, boogie plus tactical fast rate fire could really work in your favor, but it's such a situational play.
Yeah, it's definitely rough, and now he's going to drop down and pick it up. So making that gives him a pretty effective close-range loadout. Green pump into either the gray suppressed SMG or the purple heavy AR, doing the 44 body damages close at long range. You don't get as much of the penalty with the rate of fire and the bloom coming into play. And Sheep looking like he's now just going to disengage Tokata as well. So they're going to go their separate ways. Jumping on over to Bizzle and Da FPS. Strategy here. Bizzle fires off the first shot, not going to connect.
Yep, so now Bizu holding the high ground. Dafias is playing that low ground warrior stance here. There are so many players nearby listening in on the cues, though. You can just see from the map, anyone's looking to pounce in on this battle. Bizzle keeping it textbook, not overcommitting.
And just making sure he's giving himself enough space and keeping the high ground. But as you were saying, on the mini-map, there's about 5 or 6 players heading towards this location. That's why neither of these guys is committing. And they're also using secondary resources. It's not a wood going out there. So building with brick and metal, it's risky right now. They want to try and get away from this. Ladies and gentlemen, match 5, 78 people left. We're almost there. And Dafias throwing some best mates down. Let him know. A fortunate circle rotation.
This is going to work in his favor. So for those of you guys just tuning in, we are in match 5 of the Secret Skirmish. Every single battle is going to be heavily weighed into the leaderboards because we have such a close, the race to #1 right now. There's so many people tied up at the top here. Bizzle's one of those looking to get himself a victory. All right, he's going with an early rotation, JDW. And look how cautious Bizzle is. He doesn't want to take a battle he doesn't have to.
No, he's definitely trying to play safe and now controlling that legendary vending machine.
Ooh,
Launchpad for Wood is so good, Monster. It's going to enable him. And it's also Launchpad for Brick.
He's got options.
He really does. DFPS right there on the edge of the circle. What you're going to see now is they're going to try and set up shop right at the edge of this rotation, because as you see, tons of players have to go very far towards the edge of the circle, towards Fatal Fields. If you're able to gain dominance, gain high ground, and be able to look towards the rotation paths, it becomes very easy to then rifle down the opponents, perhaps get a chip, perhaps catch somebody else. But right now, Tom pressuring down on DFPS. Da making sure he defensive cones off. Tom editing back down. Da is directly underneath him. He's doing a really good job of following where he is, not losing track of him.
I like what 72 is doing here. He's just holding ground, looking for the opportunity to just land on him with a big, healthy shot. He could have made the edit down, but he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity here.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to catch Daw making a mistake, and that might have been it, getting a little bit of chip. Daw recognizing where he is now, building with metal.
Nice pressure there. For the counter. That's a big one right there. Loses more shield. 2 hits for 72 is going to connect there.
Daw trying to work forward.
Love the cone play right there.
Very good, making sure he gets it in the opponent's box himself. Daw gets the angle, drops 72, down to 40. 72 is going to have to now back up, disengage, and reset, because look at the people coming in. Storm timing. Storm is starting to move, and people want to get to the edge of this circle. Monster, it's about to get chaotic.
Not only that, once 72 lost the camera angle right there, he almost lost his player life, but he is going to retreat to the high ground. He's going to find himself a breathing moment here to recoup his health, and DFPS gets away from 72 and Bizzle. These are some close engagements here. DFPS, he's burned through a lot of resources and hasn't secured an elim yet. He's just dwindling down.
Yeah, but he has made Tom use all of his resources. 72 forced into kind of a tough spot, but it's not awful. He went from around 100 builds to now 60, so he used 40% of those, used up all of his utility minus that campfire, but does have the edge of circle as the rotation is coming in.
Here comes the zone with a minute left. It's only wave 2 here. 70 players remained. 72 hours already secured game 1 today, so he is high on the board. Hopping over to Landjock and Aegis, who are going toe-to-toe. Landjock looking to replace this wall here. Aegis goes with the counter hop offensively, and Landjock makes the fatal error with no builds.
That is absolutely brutal. We talk about situational awareness so much, and Landjock, it failed him right there. Now jumping over to Saf and Legidian. Saf trying to find the angle. He counter edits out because he knows Legidian's trying to get the shot. Saf has been consistent all day, rarely ever outside the top 10, but Legidian's trying to change that.
Yeah, I like what he's trying to do here is getting this big pot off. He does have the time now. Here, Legidian doesn't want to commit in though. There's way too many walls. Oh, it looks like he thinks it's time to do it. And that's why you don't go in the box.
Didn't even need the trap. He had the insurance policy. What's in the box? It's a trap.
When someone like Saf, who's one of our point leaders, is playing the low ground defense like this, he's literally asking to bait you into the trap play. It was almost kind of too easy, but Legidian chokes on the pressure right there and goes down to Saf. Zayt is going to lose all of his shield. Gets shredded from behind here. He is at 3 eliminations, though. And has plenty of utility to cover it. 3 big pots, a slurp, and a campfire. Right now taking only 158 damage and dealt for 61. 3 elims, the 1 point. He's got to be pretty happy with that. Yeah, with 120 builds, he is knocking on the door of what would be max material count as well. So he is sitting pretty good in Storm Wave 3 here. Yeah, but he is missing a high rate of fire weapon that's going to make it difficult to kind of pressure some of these builds in the close quarters. He's more going to be looking to catch people rotating with that rifle or catch those quick one-shots in the boxes next over with that legendary pump he has. This is a good zone here, but there are so many people in the Fatal Fields area. Yes, 62 people now, and Fatal can be a kind of chaotic place to have to rotate through because of those cornfields. You never know when someone is next to you. Highly reliant on those audible cues. Okay, here's Tendons and Germ. Germ does hear the Tendons nearby. He goes for the pump shot and swing and a miss. And Psychic trying to cheat over now. He heard Germ is there, and everyone just trying to catch somebody else off guard. You see Aspect taking this guy, and that's Psychic catching Germ off guard. That was a double tap. Heavy AR, double headshot. Only way he could have got over that threshold. Very impressive with his accuracy there, and going to get. Look at that loot. Look at that loadout. What? Sundown. Oh my, Launchpad, Rift to go, Campfire,
like blues across the board. You couldn't ask for more right now unless you want like maybe some shiny weapons, but I mean, this is good.
Yeah, well, all he really needs is, you know, a little bit of a better pump upgrade, but
He still has the blue, which does the 100 damage to the body, 200 to the head, so has the one-shot threshold, but you have to be perfect.
They just caught Sheep on the rotation at the red barn. Sheep actually had no shield. I wanted to talk in this earlier. We're talking about players hiding in those corn stalks. Literally, Sheep was right there.
Right next to him, and sometimes all it takes is just a quick edit, and players are now getting used to the fact that they'll do anything. Like, we saw somebody hiding under a staircase yesterday. We've seen people hiding around corners. We've seen people sitting in boxes right next to it, pretending to fire, and then turning around and editing it. Players are taking whatever trick, whatever advantage they can get and trying to exploit it, and that's what you have to do.
Like what Zayd's doing here, looking to max out these materials. He is so close to weak players. The first player to push this guy right here with 200 health full is going to get punished.
Absolutely, and he's sitting on so much more utility. He can afford to trade it out, both with the siphon mechanics he gets from eliminating, sitting on floor, needs one more for a point, tied with Naga Ops currently as our leader for Elims. Nistic just behind him with 3. Nobody else quite in the point range.
One Elim is all Zayd needs to get another point in this elimination format. He's sitting at a big board. It's Blind and Aspect going toe-to-toe. Zayd is listening into all of this here.
He knows what's going on directly below him. Doesn't want to take a part of it right now, but hopes to catch somebody rotating away. He has a really long rotation to make out in the open, so might be looking for recycled utility, has no mobility options himself.
In case you're just joining us, guys, we're gathered together at the Fortnite Secret Skirmish. We're currently in the solo portion, Game 5. Yesterday was all duos. Today we have solo action. Let's take a look at these mid-game highlights here with Bala so you can keep you guys up to date.
Monster, and here we have Jade Cuddy versus JDW, and this is such a nice play from JDW. See how Jade Cuddy goes into the box and he immediately places the stairs and gets that trap Elim there. That's going to be his first one. He's going to go on to try for more. But next, Patek versus Outlet. Another really nice play and a fortunate events for him. The stair edit there was so amazing by Patek, so quick and clean. And then we have Naga Ops, who is somewhere in our standings high up. He's going to take out Overpeak from far. He's off on a run. We're going to take a look at that possibly in the post game as well, as there are stuff that goes on. But here's Sap. He's in the lead as Legedian jumps in, and another trap play. Everybody with their traps getting such nice elims there. We're going to see the standings are starting to shake up.
Thank you, Bala. We do appreciate the catch-up for everyone just tuning in here. We're halfway through this lobby. Fulmer's under pressure now. Saf, one of our leaders in the points here, just holding down that turbo. He is averaging 3.2 eliminations per game. He hasn't won a game without me.
And not only that, he's averaging 9th place overall. So he's averaging a top 10 finish. He's averaging a point a game, not only from elims, but from placements. And that's consistency defined. He won yesterday, and now here he is in the solos, looking to catch players on the rotation. He's right on the edge of the circle, trying to gatekeep, aka keeping the players outside the circle from rotating to safety, thus putting them under pressure from taking storm damage. And what this allows him to do is have a prime position and able to catch them rotating, because you know where they have to walk, Monster.
Yes, he does. He has that high, keen awareness of his surroundings. It's K-Yoon and Clarity. In another battle, Fulmer sees a small opportunity to get on the offense, and there it is. He's pressuring down K-Yoon. Clarity picking up on the cues from Fulmer's shots, and now his Clarity's getting pressure from 2 angles.
Yeah, someone else joining in from the side as well, and this is what happens when you're the last one in. You become an easy target, but Clarity is the one who capitalizes, not getting any of the loot for that, but a really aggressive, calculated push from the Storm, making sure he was the one to get that elim.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, now somebody trying to drop down on him. He's trying to defend. He was thinking about, is it worth? That was Fulmer who wanted a piece of it, but Saf's going to be able to go. What is that?
Whoa!
Saf pushes across, jump, 180. If he didn't get the siphon, he would have been eliminated immediately before because he's below the 50 HP. 36 is going to keep him alive, and that gives him a point. So now back up to that average point from there. That's going to push him into tied with Vivid, and on tiebreaker, he's actually going to be above him coming through it. That's incredible right now.
He is going for it here. I can't believe he just made the most aggressive counter push right there. That was absolutely incredible. And now he's going to be able to replenish up on all of Fulmer's loot. We know Fulmer to be a defensive, slow, methodical player, one of our highest placements as far as pop-up performances go in the past. Look, Zap is back in the game right now.
Absolutely incredible right there. And then Clarity had opted to disengage. Saf heard that, and then you see recycled utility. When people use a Rift to go, or they use a launchpad late game, everyone hears that audio cue, and then they run for it. They're like, I get free utility, I can go get that real quick. And then Saf, now, safe zone, middle next circle, got the Elim, and he's going to heal up to 125 effective HP, even 100 if he wants to use the campfire. So you are watching incredibly calculated young legend who dominated duos yesterday, trying to desperately repeat that clutch performance and put himself back in first place. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
So
do you want to break that down?
No, you got it, dude. That's all you. Go ahead.
Listen, Sav is being calculated with every single decision. He is losing. The reason he break the campfire, it gives off a smoke signal. It gives off a cue to the area. Every piece of information matters in the highest competitive levels of Fortnite. There's 100 different ways we could break down off a campfire play here.
Yep, and now Naga Ops jumping over on 4 Elims. Our current Elim leader who is left in the match. One more will give him an additional point. 2 points will put him in the money in that top 20 situation. That's what the players are fighting for. And now look at that, trying to find whatever shots he can with that legendary suppressed AR, catching people who are rotating. He has to leave pretty early on. He's at the backside of the circle, but he's looking like he's going to try and find people rotating, and there's a lot nearby.
And this big elimination right here, because this is worth a point in this game format here. This next elimination will be his 5th, and then he will be so close to the big bonus. This is a big rotation here. He is looking for players. That's Whites. Makes the edit. The Storm unfortunately takes him out there, but it's a Rift to go. He catches it.
Yeah, and look at all the players in the sky. That's what we talk about, recycled utility. You see that Storm Surge warning go away. That means players are being eliminated. We're now down to 30 players left. And look at those poach. Bizzle, Schmecht, Persecute, Clarity, Naga. Some opting to drop down to try and get a piece of the action on the low ground. They want Elim. They want points. Trying to fall down on ultimate high is Naga Ops. But you see all of the tarps being built, players covering themselves from above and below, trying to not get picked when they're rotating. Naga dropping down on that middle tarp, metal out, 57 structures left. Notice how quickly he burns through this in favor of safety.
He also chose to not use floorboards there because he knew a player was below him. Just those little opportunities to save up materials here. Naga's on the offense. That's a big hit right there. 66, there's another player below him. He's looking for blood here. Is he going to be able to find it? Here comes a low-level disengage now, and there's going to be a player right over to his right.
Really be able to find the shop, now being pressured from above. Look at these diagonal tarps, making sure you're building out next to you, then covering your sides, editing forward. This is Bowman now on the low ground, sitting on 6 Elims, picks up Armand. Will he be able to get the 7th for a point and then activate big bonus, trying to drop down the play on the loop. 100 shot, does not pick it up, gets eliminated by Tfue. Going in, 10 players left. Everyone just got a placement point. Mateos drops down, Saf knocking its builds out from underneath him. This is Chaos. Tfue now 4 Elims. 8 players left, looking to find one more, getting those 2 points to catapult himself further into that top 20 after the last game. He's almost there, now out of builds, reliant on finding Elims or cleaning up other resources. Kuros on that low ground. Blue Tea trying to pick up the Elim from the Siphon. Bizzle ends up living in the Storm. Tfue on the low ground with Kuros. Kuros ends up going down to the Storm. Bizzle, ultimate high.
1v1 Bizzle versus Tfue here. Tifu's just looking for the peak. He has no materials. Didn't even go for
ultimate high.
farmer.
Bizzle is now getting dropped on. They cue the trap. Not going to be able to find it yet. Still 3 players remaining. Tfue
second there,
ultimate
I
low.
thought it was only 1 player, but it's not.
No, he was sitting all the way up. He had popped the rip, and he was just hanging out above. Tfue trying to knock down the structures. Builds are beginning to fall. Will he catch it? Tfue goes down to Bizzle. Bizzle cleans it up with the pump into the SMG, and that is it. 3 Elims into the victory royale. Incredible performance coming out from him. He has to be happy. That's going to catapult him right into the conversation for the last game.
What an incredible finish by Bizzle. One of our favorites to watch from the start of this entire solo series, coming in hot. Here are the final moments. It was actually Flossin who came overhead from the dive down. Super off guard right there. He falls to his death, unfortunately, simultaneously.
Right at the same moment. It was neck and neck. He fell right on the corner. You saw him fall down. It's just.
And listen, Tfue has actually granted the Elim on Flossin because he broke all the structure. So that was Tfue's 5th elimination. Not only placement and a 2nd point for the Elim.
Huge. Saf as well, 6 Elims, and then got into the placement points. It's going to catapult them back up there, going back and forth with Vivid. They're Mr. Consistence right now, but we're going to throw it on over to an interview.
Guys, first off, let's just say, if Kitty plays, I feel like I can hear in the back yelling, Bizzle, Bizzle, Bizzle. Let's just put it out there, you're a monster. All right, you've been in this position so many times. I gotta know, how is it you always maintain that high ground?
It's just playing your game style, and it's a series, and hopefully one game you're gonna play it right and you're gonna get the win.
All right, so like let's dive a little bit deeper, right? So we've kind of had a video package of you in the past and stuff. Can you dive a little bit into like what you're doing that's giving you these advantages over all these players? Like, what is it like? Are you just playing for like 8 hours a day? Like, what do you have that we don't have?
When you're playing the game and you're playing against the best players in the world, I think that's what gets you better. When you have a group of friends that you can rely on that can get you better at the game, and that's what everyone needs, I think.
Yeah. So how much do you play with those friends? Is it like once a day? Are you like, look, I'm gonna fly solo, but then you're like, no, I need to play with you guys? Like, what's the story?
Oh, it's every day. We're playing with each other, and if there's downtime, we're always looking to play with each other, like whenever we can. That's what makes someone better.
Now here you go, man. Last game. All right, this is game number 6. You gonna keep the road steady? Like, what are you looking to change up for game number 6?
I'm not going to change up anything. I'm going to hope I find some movement, find some bricks and launch pads, and hopefully just get a high placement with good kills and get some more points on the board.
Well, bizzle. Let's see if you can make it happen. Best of luck in game 6. Guys, back over to you.